Every great brand begins with a dream. Dreams made by ordinary men and women not afraid to dream of the extraordinary. Nearly 180 years have passed since the young Cyrus Hall McCormick began dreaming of great innovations, starting with ending the hours of back-breaking labor required to harvest grain. His dedication to the dream resulted in an invention capable of doing the work of 5 men, and it would become the keystone of modern mechanized farming, establishing McCormick as the most recognizable and formidable brand of equipment on the planet. His dream came in an era when only ships crossed the vast oceans. However, this was no boundary for McCormick or the company that bears his name, and it flourished into a true multinational corporation. His dream became a legacy, and the history books regard him as the father of modern agriculture. While no one ever truly knew what McCormick dreamt, it's clear to everyone who makes their living off the land that Cyrus dreamed big. After receiving a patent for a hill plow and the now famous reaper in 1834, the young entrepreneur with a keen business sense began focusing on providing his tools to the ever-expanding American landscape. The Walnut Grove homestead and smithy in rural Virginia could not meet production demands and simply did not offer the distribution channels necessary to fulfill the McCormick dream. McCormick found the ideal location with railroad and waterway access to allow broad sales to distant markets. So along with his brothers William and Leander, Cyrus moved to Chicago in 1847 and formed the McCormick Harvesting Machine Company. Nearly 25 years later, the Great Chicago Fire consumed the city and destroyed the McCormick factory. Despite great financial loss, Cyrus persevered, finishing the new factory early in 1873. It was soon in full production, fulfilling over 10,000 orders in 1874. When Cyrus McCormick passed away in 1884, Cyrus Jr. assumed control of the business and wasted little time in expanding the company that already held 50% of the harvesting equipment market share. Early in the 20th century, the McCormick Harvesting Machine Company merged with 4 of its competitors to form the International Harvester Company, which began manufacturing tractors in 1906. The group later added the #1 plow manufacturer to its portfolio. The Roaring '20s brought about the introduction of the most popular tractor ever, the Farmall. A new factory in Rock Island, Illinois was built solely for the production of the Farmall, and by 1930, over 100,000 of them were working on farms and fields across America. The company became a multinational force in the 30s when production of tractors started in the United Kingdom. This period also brought about a change in tractor color to the now famous red. The letter and regular series of the Farmall, designed by Raymond Loewy, were introduced in 1939. The machines were a huge success, being manufactured for an astonishing 50 years, and were clearly the defining products in the history of the company. During and after World War II, the company continued to prosper by acquiring other companies and expanding tractor manufacturing capacity. The group remained the world market share leader well into the fabulous 50s, when it ventured into other product lines such as trucks, buses, and even refrigerators. But dark clouds were on the horizon. Despite strong sales in the 60s and 70s, profit margins remained slim. The company continued the addition of unrelated commodities, creating broad product lines and distractions from the core business. Increasing costs brought about by new environmental and safety legislation, coupled with increasing labor costs, resulted in a 6-month work stoppage and squeezed margins to the breaking point. The lack of focus on the core business allowed the competition to catch up with, and in some cases pass, the once technological leader. The bright spot in the midst of this mire was when the 5 millionth tractor rolled off the Rock Island production line in 1974. By the mid-'80s, the once great conglomeration was on the brink of oblivion. Cyrus's legendary brand was sold off to a finance company and was forced to play second fiddle to another, inferior trade name. Years passed, and the once proud McCormick brand nearly faded into obscurity. Though previously a household name, it clung to life in collectors' clubs and in the hearts of those who tilled the earth and fed their families by virtue of the revered machines. Cyrus's dream was fading. Then in the late 90s, a flicker of hope. Corporate sales, consolidations, and mergers offered one last opportunity to revive at least part of the prestigious McCormick heritage. The Mora family of Italy tendered an offer to purchase the assets of 2 European factories, and with the factories, the McCormick name. At the dawn of a new century, the new McCormick boldly announced its presence in the marketplace, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Built of the Cyrus McCormick legacy, and delivering the utmost in quality, industry-leading innovation, and unparalleled performance, the new McCormick carries on with a full range of products designed for the 21st century consumer. Ever growing and constantly innovating, the new McCormick is poised to conquer any challenge the new millennium can muster. After all, it's not just a name, it's a brand.